Hello team, and welcome to our May-June video bite. So just a bit of communication. We're going to hear from Praveen. We're going to hear what our June theme will be all about. But to start with, this coming Sunday, which is the 29th of May, we are going to have an all-age service. So we're going to have input from our young people. We're going to have input from our children. Now, I'm going to give you, at the end of this video, the song that I'm going to invite all the children to come up and perform on the stage. So if you are here this coming Sunday, then if you would like to, no pressure if you'd rather not, but if you would like to, then we'd love to welcome you to jump onto the stage and rock it out with the children. We're going to try and teach the church this song. And for those who don't know what the song is, it's Our God is So Big, So Strong and So Mighty, but it's a funky version, so it's slightly different. After the service, we've got a picnic in Bedworth Park. So again, if you can come along and just relax, bring some food and just hang out with your friends, with other leaders, with children, then we'd love to just do something as a family. We're changing it up a little bit. All age service, families together, followed by something that we can do as a church-wide family. Now we have some practical updates for you. So I'm going to hand over to our wonderful Praveen, who will give you an update on what is happening on Sundays.
Hiya, Lifekids team. How are we? I hope we're all doing well. I just wanted to say on behalf of myself and Pastor Andrea that you guys are doing such a fantastic job, just coming in each week and just making Lifekids such a memorable experience for our kids. So we are so truly grateful that we get to journey it with you and share that experience with you. So thank you so much. Now, I just wanted to update you on a few things just from my side, just in regards to sign-in folders. So these are your registration folders. So key leaders, this is mostly for yourself, but it's good for everybody just to know. You'll have yellow folders where you do your register as the kids come in and then as they're leaving Lifekids. So just to make sure, can I have the key leaders to just pass these back to the managers, please? Because it's really just on a safeguarding point. It's just brilliant if it was just handed to them so that it's just passed from one person to another and not left at the registration table. So that would be good, just in case. So that's the yellow folders. Resources folder. So again, key leads, but anybody in the actual group as well, just so you know what these red folders are, you will have a folder, which is a resources folder that I'll prep for your week that you're serving. And just so you know what's inside, there's colouring pages. So any sort of colouring pages, memory verse type thing that needs printing, that will be in there. Again, just any resource sheets. And if it's a new month, you will have your memory verse. What I will do is with the resources and bits like that, I will keep them in your resource folder for at least a week or so before I remove them, and then we put them away, just in case someone's missing that week and you just want to make sure that they get the resources for the week that they've missed. So that's the resources folder. And just in regards to that, if anybody does want anything printed out that's in relation to the curriculum and for the week that they're serving, please do let me know or let your champion know. Okay, moving on to memory verse books. So they are definitely, like, the kids are using them, but we want your feedback as well. How are we as leaders really encouraging the memory verse books? Like, what are we doing? So this includes everybody, so forgers as well. So when you see the kids, maybe just ask them, oh, how's your memory verse going this week? Oh, did you draw anything? So remember, we said with the memory verse is that they could, I'll just go to one of these for an example. Did they just read it for that week? Did they write it? Did they draw it? What did they dream of? And and perhaps you can maybe share some of your experiences as well. So that would be quite good, just to encourage the kids of what that can look like. Even bringing kids up to the front with their memory verse book, just to show and use them as like an example just for the other kids. And yeah, just so that they've got an idea of what can be done with it, and just to, yeah, real encouragement. So that's a memory verse books. And just so you know, as Life Kids is expanding, our groups are getting bigger, we are looking forward in regards to how we bring the kids back into service. So once they've finished their Life Kids for that morning. So in doing so, we are trying to put a few ideas together. So just bear with us. There might be a few changes in the weeks to come. And we'll, again, it's trial and error. So that might change in time as the groups grow big as well. So if there is any suggestions just in regards to any of that, or just any ideas or any suggestions, we've had a few leaders and forgers, a few, like anybody, please do feel free to come up to myself or Pastor Andrea, or even managers or your key leaders, and maybe just share some of your ideas, and please do filter that back to myself or Pastor Andrea. There will be a post box up at reception in the foyer, should I say. So you can pop down all of these, and that includes prayer requests as well. I think that is everything that I need to say. Oh, just lastly, just in regards to the few changes that we might make as children return back into service, there will be a manager to help orchestrate that. So please do not worry, everybody. We will help you, and we will do this next bit together. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Praveen. That was awesome. I just want to give you now some updates to our teams. So we've got some new people who have joined our team. We have, and you might have noticed on a Sunday morning in church, giving out the bands and leading the children out of the service, we have our awesome Shelley, who is championing the children, bringing them down and leading them to the upstairs room, at which point the children say goodbye and Shelley goes and enjoys the rest of the service. She's done this now for 2 weeks, thoroughly loves the role. So if we can encourage our wonderful Shelley in that new role, that would be amazing. I'd also like to welcome two fabulous couples who are joining the 567 team. We've got Karen and Graham Bowers, who are going to be our week 4 big breakfast team. So this is the week where all the groups are in years 5, year 6 and year 7. They come along, they munch and eat food together, and then just discuss a topic on our curriculum theme. And then we've got Carl and Bobby Greenwood. We're thrilled that they too are giving their time, their experiences, their passion to the 567 group. So welcome to team, all of you. We're so thrilled that you are joining us. We've also got some updates on our young leaders. You'll remember Millie Lees, who's been fabulous backstage, looking after the registration and just things that happen in the zones, supporting Praveen, and just doing a marvelous job. For so long, she's done this diligently, quietly, with such maturity. And we are thrilled to say that Millie is moving into that position of morning manager for Lifekids. So not shadowing anymore, but she will now be the Paul who will be training up lots of Timothys within our Young Leaders program. So welcome to that management role, Millie. You're doing such a marvelous job. We've also got Nathan Campbell Barker, who has been for some time now key leader in our flash group. That is setting it up, preparing, thinking, praying through how and what to deliver for that morning, and then leading the children on the Sunday morning. We don't need to wait for our young people to turn 18 before they step into leadership. If we see that gifting upon them, we see that maturity, and we see that they're ready, we want to champion them and support them into that opportunity to serve God with their gifts. And the rest of you forgers, you're doing such a wonderful job turning up. Your attitude has been outstanding. Just even last week, some of our young people just came and said, is there anything I can do to help, even when you weren't on team? That is the right attitude. So thank you for just coming with a smile, for loving the children and being who you are and bringing what you are to serve God. So I'm now going to hand over to the Grow Curriculum team, who will explain what the Ever After theme for June is all about.
Ever After After is a series about Ruth. We're going to be looking at the entire book of Ruth by covering a chapter a week. I know as kids get older, they're told, fairy tales aren't real, and that life isn't going to be like a storybook. But the story of Ruth, Naomi, and Boaz might encourage us all that real life fairy tales do exist. And sometimes God is kind of a big romantic.
I love that. So this is how we're going to kick things off. In week one, we're going to be looking at the tragic beginnings of the story of Ruth and Naomi. And we're going to find out that even though Ruth had every opportunity and reason to leave Naomi, she didn't, and she decided to stick by her. So this week's big idea is God gives us companions.
In week 2, we'll look at Ruth 2 to learn the story of when Ruth first meets Boaz and what that meeting could mean for both Ruth and Boaz in their futures. So this week's big idea is God gives us hope.
It's to week 3, and we continue the story in chapter 3, where Ruth courageously asks Boaz to marry her and redeem her family, which leads to this week's big idea, which is God gives us boldness.
Then in week 4, we wrap up this fairy tale with Ruth 4 and how Boaz shrewdly made the arrangements so that he could, in fact, become Ruth's kinsman redeemer. And not only do they get their happily ever after, but their descendants also include King David and Jesus himself. That's why the big idea is God always takes care of us.
And the way that God has always been with Ruth and her entire family throughout this story, even through really tough circumstances, is summarised in this month's memory verse. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Psalm 12, verse 8.
Okay, let's talk about the theme. This is so much fun. This month's decorating theme is fairy tales because we're talking about the story of Ruth and her journey. So you can draw inspiration from classic fairy tales like Goldilocks, like Jack and the Beanstalk, and of course we have all the Disney movies. So yeah, just kind of take a look through all of your favorites and find some things that you might want to use as well.
And we mentioned in a previous deep dive that you may want to save some of your decorations from our page turner series, which was back in March, because of things like the giant storybook and reading nooks, you could reuse it for this series as well. But if you gave them all away or threw them all away, well, at least now you are experts and you know how to put them together now. The difference between page turner and ever after is that page turner was more focused on the books and kind of these like fantasy type stories. And ever after, we want to go more of the fairy tale, enchanted forest type of aesthetic. So what you might want to do is start off with an enchanted forest, some sort of tree with twinkle lights, fairies, woodland creatures that would completely add to that look. And of course, a castle backdrop wouldn't hurt. You can get a backdrop or you can have freestanding castles to add to your decorated spaces. I think that'd be really fun for kids to like walk through drawbridges and things like that. And also, we can never neglect to dress up as part of the decorations because, moving props and decorations. So encourage volunteers to dress up. We were saying earlier about the Renaissance Fair, right? But I kid you not, like there are so many great costume ideas that you can have volunteers dress up as. And I've learned that if you just look through your closet, there are always pieces you can kind of put together in a creative way to just make that look happen. So get creative and also share your photos with us because we want to see that.
Definitely.
And also, in addition to the decorating, there are some fun giveaways you might want to give away as prizes or just fun little knickknacks to give to your kids. One thing you may not forget is a paper crown, right? They can decorate it with rhinestones or not decorate it at all and it'll still look perfectly fine. We also have these cool little dragon figurines you might want to get for especially the boys who might not be into all of the like fairy tale princessy type things. You can also remind them that there are fun action elements to fairy tales as well. And lastly, check out these scratch art wands. You can use them as an additional craft or just as a take-home kit for our kids to do.
So we're almost done. Hope you like this next month's theme. Feel free to dress up. We're going to try and encourage the children to dress up as well. I don't know whether we'll get Pastor Danny dressed up in any fairy tale outfits, but you never know. Okay, we're about to finish, but let's end with the song that we're going to do on the stage in our all age service next week. Lots of actions. Feel free to join in, and hope to see you rocking it out on the stage. Bye-bye for now.
My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. My God is so big and so strong and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. In the beginning, God made everything. God simply spoke and the world came to be. He sent a flood and made everything new. He parted the sea and let his people walk